I'm here to give you my personal UBOX review. This is Monique, the work from home mogul, a video about my personal experience with UBOX, and my special guest today is Stage Manager Marjorie. I'm ready, let's do this. If you're considering UBOX, you have to watch this video. If you're thinking about putting stuff in storage, you need to watch this video. If you're thinking about moving ever, you need to watch this video. Or if you just want to have something to do for the next few minutes or so, stay tuned. What is UBOX? UBOX is from UHAUL. It is a storage container option. It is a pod. It's a wagon. If you need to have stuff not in your house anymore, or if you need to move stuff from one location to the other. It's 8 feet by like 7.5 feet, and they say that it can fit 1.5 bedrooms. It's 250 square feet, but the depth of it, like if you can stack furniture on top of each other, it really can hold a lot of stuff. So why did I consider UBOX instead of just a normal storage locker? Well, because they ran out of storage lockers around my neighborhood and they were super small. Like I was trying to fit a 2-bedroom into a storage, which would be astronomical cost-wise. The storages were like $60, $100, where it was like 3 feet by 5 feet or something ridiculous, where I really thought that I was going to be able to put everything in there. Now this 8 foot by 7 foot starts at $60, but I think it was like more around the lines of like 109, 130 for them to store it for me, not to just leave it at my house. You can go and pick it up, or you can have it delivered, and you can just keep it at your house for however many days if you're renovating or if you're like painting or just need stuff out of the house for a while. That's an option, but it is like basically it's a 30-day fee, even if you only use it for like a week or two. You also have the option for UHAUL to store it for you where they store their trucks and their other UBOXes, which is included in the fee, at least in the state where I'm from. So you gotta kind of look at what they offer. The issue with that is temperature control. So are you in a hot and humid place? Are you in a freezing cold place? And will that affect your belongings? Is something to take into consideration. So in my personal situation, my lease was over, but my next place was not yet available for another, 6 weeks, almost 2 months. So I knew that I couldn't leave my belongings in my current residence. I needed to have it somewhere before I could then move it into my new residence weeks upon weeks later. UBOX was the solution for me. Why? Well, it was much cheaper and bigger than any storage place. I could have a mover put everything in there, have it stored, and then have the movers deliver it to my new place. It was like such a great option for me. And the fact that UHAUL has recommended movers, that they already do this sort of thing, was appealable to me. So if you have a truck or someone you know can hitch this wagon to their vehicle and just go pick up the UBOX for you, and you're just gonna put things in it for a few days and you have a house with a lawn where you could just keep it, then this is a really, really great option. However, if you are moving cross country, or if you are like my situation, just needed your stuff to be somewhere for a month or two, you might want to think twice. There's some things that you need to know about this UBOX. First of all, it has a letter numerical tag on it. This is assigned to you when you place on hold your UBOX with your credit card number. You're not charged until it's delivered or picked up, but you're assigned a number. And you need to make sure that that number is also on the UBOX, because that is where all your stuff is. It is not uncommon for them to deliver the wrong box with a different code. And if you don't know what that code is, you may not know where your stuff is for a long ass time. It's also common for them to change the tag on your account. So if it was one number the first month, maybe when they renew and you pay the second month, the number's changed. That does happen, because it happened to me. And then what happened was my movers went over there, collected a box, and they came back and the door was falling off of the box and it was somebody else's stuff in it. And no, it wasn't good stuff where I was like, hey, jackpot, let me keep all these expensive things. It was just not even barely anything in that one. And I wanted my stuff anyway. Another thing that you want to know if they are storing your UBOX in a facility is, what facility is it at? For me, I had it at the main facility, but then 17 days later, it was moved to a different one. Why? No clue. But if that should happen, you want to know the address to where your stuff is so that if you're movers or if you go get it, you go to the right place. In addition to me having a wrong tag number and not knowing what address the place was at, I had to go and track down my original tag number to find out where was this moved and why was this moved. Having the phone numbers to the facilities, to UBOX, to the movers you have, and to have your tag, having all this organized will save a lot of headache. One other thing that you want to get is insurance. Now, $1,000 is minimum required, I think. I'm pretty sure it's required that you get at least the 1,000 minimum. It's like $6 a month. But whatever your stuff is worth, you want to get insurance for it, and you want to be comfortable that if you lose everything, you can replace everything. Do not put any like priceless heirlooms in there or anything that would be a headache to replace. When the UBOX people randomly moved my box to a different facility, some damage occurred to the UBOX. I think there was a torrential downpour while they were moving it because there's no rain inside the facilities. So if water does get in your UBOX, that means it happened while it was being transported. When you get your insurance, make sure that you just keep the name of the insurance, the link that you need to make an insurance claim. UBOX will give you all this stuff, but every time you call them or every time you call UHAUL, you'll be on hold forever. So it's good to just have all these items somewhere organized so you don't have to be on the phone waiting on hold for like you don't have nothing better to do. But they'll just ask you for pictures of the damage and also any receipts or online transactions and what the cost of is per each item, totaling up to more than the 1,000 or 2,000, 3,000, whatever insurance that you decided to get. And they're really prompt at responding. So that's good. Now the movers. U-Haul recommends people. And the people that they recommend have done this before. So they should know a little bit about UBOX. There's a lot of issues that UBOX has, like there's a certain window where they have pickup times and that you need to request this a day or two beforehand so they can have the forklift ready to get your UBOX off 10 stories high. There's so much issues with these UBOX people, so your mover should be aware of that. If you have like a 4-hour window with certain elevator times, you want to have people that are experienced with UBOX, but you also want to not be the only one there to receive your items. You want to have somebody watching the movers because these people are not trying to be here all day, especially if they've waited 2-3 hours on the line for U-Haul to get you the box. They just want to get in and get out. So they're trying to move things quick, whether that means dropping things, scraping walls. Just keep an eye on these people and the more that you watch them, the better a job they're going to do, unfortunately. I mean, you don't have to lift a finger, you just have to watch. And that is your role for when you are moving your things into your next place. So overall, I do not recommend UBOX if you like your stuff and you don't want it damaged. I don't recommend it if you live in an extremely hot or cold place where the temperature could damage your stuff. Unless there's a facility that is temperature controlled, which doesn't seem like they have them, because whatever thousands of square feet facilities where they're housing their trucks and U-boxes, they're not paying for the heat or air conditioner in that. So now let's hear from our special guest, Stage Manager Marjorie. You can produce your move. What would be your advice to making a receiving, moving situation run smoothly? So basically, you're gonna prioritize fast, cheap, or good. You're gonna get 2 out of 3. So if you want it fast and cheap, it's not gonna be good. And if you want it good and fast, it's not gonna be cheap. It's that simple. What are some quick tips that we can keep in mind if we're trying to juggle a whole bunch of stuff at the same time? When you're producing the move of your life, you have a call sheet. What is your opening time? What is your closing time? And what needs to get done in between? What should we be looking for when handling a move-in day? What resources do you have to help you? When you are producing and correlating and moving all together, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You know, I did another video on moving out and moving in. What other tips would you add? The show must go on. So if you are ready and you have everything lined up, there's no reason why you can't succeed. Thanks, Marjorie. Thanks, work from home bodies. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you can get alerted for the next video. And we'll see you then. Bye. You might want to think twice.